And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Vicki to talk about our project that we've done on invasive species at Odeon Point State Park.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. Share in the beginning. Okay, so I have about 5 minutes to cover a very big project. So it'll be a little brief, but there's a couple of things we really want to highlight. So the Conservation District has been working on habitat restoration at Odeon Point State Park for over 10 years, and we've created a lot of partnerships. So we're really excited about this work, and here's one of the reasons why. We have a lot of important communities there: beach grass, grasslands, coastal salt pond marsh, tidal creek bottom. A lot of really important communities there, and including coastal wetlands, freshwater wetlands, a variety of rare, threatened, and endangered species, 2 critically imperiled habitat, and 5 rare or uncommon habitats. So this is a really important place as far as conservation goes. And it has a really cool history too. So starting in 1623, it was the first New Hampshire settlement, and then all the way down to World War II, when the Department of Defense used it as an important lookout point. And in 1961, it was sold to the state of New Hampshire, now owned by the Department of Parks and Recreation. So we started working on this in 2009 as part of a big management committee, and we created, in partnership with everyone, we created this big management plan to try to tackle this habitat restoration. And in 2014, we added a few additions to that plan. But a variety of partners on this management committee: the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources, Parks and Recs, DES, the State Conservation Committee, the Department of Agriculture, Markets and Foods, the Seacoast Science Center, Fish and Game. So a lot of partners. And here's why. Here's what we're working on. So it's important because of all these really threatened or rare, uncommon habitats we want to protect. But it's heavily disturbed, and it had been unmanaged for years. So this caused a lot of invasive plants. So that's what we're tackling here is Japanese barberry and knotweed and a whole host of invasive plants. So we started working from south to north using integrated pest management techniques to try to reduce some of that seed pressure from those invasive plants. And here's just a quick summary of what integrated pest management looks like. There's 4 different main categories. We mostly focus on mechanical and chemical, but there's a couple. There's some mechanical is any kind of cutting or brush mowing. Cultural is that fire over there. So, a burning to control the species. We actually haven't done that at Odeon. Biological, and then chemical. So that's herbicide. And then we've done a lot of planting. So to get those native plants back. Shagbark hickory, a handful of nuts right there, and a lot of volunteers. We'll talk about that in a minute, but we've used a lot of volunteers to try to plant the native plants. So not just trying to mitigate the invasive plants, but also trying to bring back those natural plants. So over 10 years, we've gathered over $160,000 of match from volunteers. So the state, the SCA, AmeriCorps volunteers, a variety of private partnerships. So different companies who want to send their employees for a day to get outside and do some community work. So this has been a really important way to get a lot of conservation on the ground. We are currently at about 130 acres under restoration, and over 4,005. I'm getting my numbers wrong. $450,000 in grant funding. So a lot of different grants have gone into making this happen. Here's just a quick overview. This is what it looks like when we sort of think about this restoration. We have different parcels, different pieces of the land that have been divided up based on those communities and based on the types of invasives that you're trying to tackle. So this is the way we're looking at it when we're looking at this park. So our next phase of restoration is coastal shoreline restoration. And here's another, I think I've mentioned most of these partners before, but here's a visual of all the partners. And that's it. Hopefully I got it all in 5 minutes.
10 years in 5 minutes? That's amazing.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes, it is.
We certainly, and like I said, we haven't done it alone. It's been we've had a lot of help.
I tell you, when we first moved here, Odeon was one of the first places we went, and I was impressed by the bittersweet. And I thought, oh my God, I haven't been in and out of Odeon in a long time, except over by the parks and the building. So I'm just going to have to go see what you've been doing. It'll be wonderful.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Vicki, this is Paul Wainwright in Atkinson. You may have heard we have a similar project, smaller in scope, that a couple of your people have been helping with us on consulting at the moment.
Yeah, that's great. We love to work with towns on invasive projects and try to see not just invasives on the coast, but invasives everywhere to try to manage them. So we're happy to help with that.
We feel sometimes like we're the world center for bittersweet.
Yeah, once it takes hold, it does feel that way for sure.
It does, yeah. And our problem is we've known about this for 10 years and have pretty much ignored it, and it's made it a lot worse.
I think we can all do something through our own town's newsletters or whatever our social media, our interaction could be, to let people know it's iconic autumn in New England, but it's also iconically the biggest thug. So we should try and encourage people, don't do little craft projects with bittersweet, even if you've safely removed the seeds. And I would like to see us have commercial sales of plastic bittersweet. Is actually pretty darn bad stuff too, but you know, it's on sale right now at lots of craft stores, and having people still value it and worship it and stick it on a door jamb in a plastic form is something I would like to wave a magic wand at.
That would be great.
Yeah, for publicity, some of you know we have a pretty effective Facebook group here at Atkinson. So if you'd like to tune in on what we're doing, just go to Facebook and look for Atkinson Conservation. I think we even have some people from Atkinson, Georgia who've joined.
Yeah.
If you have other ideas or questions, please feel free to get in touch with Vicki at the RCCD office. And it's something that we're all very excited about. And Margie, we'll see you out there walking.
If you have any questions while somebody is talking tonight, you can go to the chat room and ask the question, and we'll kick that off to the speaker at that time. So we can do that in a timely manner.
Vicki, it would be nice to have a field trip out there to see what you've done.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be a good idea.
It would be an eye-opener for people who think bittersweet is beautiful. It would. It would be an education.
I'm not sure the status of the Invasives Academy this year. Maybe Chris knows more about that, but we've done a couple of bigger tours at Odeon, and maybe Chris knows more about that.
They are starting soon. It's going to be a Zoom format, and I'm not sure what their in-person experience is going to be like. But I wrote that down. Field trip with Vicki leading the way. Vicki and Tracy can. Vicki, Tracy, and small company can take us out maybe on a walk. I like the idea of going out there and seeing it up close and personal. That could be interesting. And I know we all are still operating under COVID considerations, and I think that people understand if we were to say, here's a sign up and it's going to be a limit of 10 people, because anybody leading a group, you're that far apart from each other, you soon get to quite a large circle, and talking loudly or singing at Odeon Point are things that we shouldn't be doing. So I don't think people would be offended if we said it's kind of a first come, first serve sort of a thing. So we'll keep that on deck. Thank you for mentioning that tour idea.
Mhm.
I did the 2-day Invasives Academy last year, and it was life-changing, both in good ways and bad ways. The bad way was I can't go anywhere anymore without seeing invasive plants.
Yeah, I agree. I did the first one when they had it at Odeon Point, actually, and just the people that were in that group were so fascinating. The whole thing was just outstanding. Yeah, I agree, Paul. Yeah, I even see it like at many miles an hour on a big road, and through Connecticut, the whole thing is taken up. Every road in Connecticut is taken up with all these things. I can now identify at quick speeds on big roads.
Same here.
Okay, we need to move on.
All righty. I am happy to have Evie and